Welcome everyone to my cramped kitchen. So, this is day one of trying to make beef and butter soup. Um, yeah, my kitchen is small. You will see, and I'm not very and I have too much crap lying around. So that's why so we're gonna have to make do with this one. Anyway, so the first thing I have here is I have in my food processor a jar of just aromatics. So we have some bell peppers, ginger, and I just put some and then I'll have one red chili pepper in there. Um, so I kind of call it like, some kind of trinity. So the main trinity is garlic, ginger, and chili, and then I add the red peppers in there. I'm grinding up the red peppers. Ideally, I would like to just cut it up without having to grind it. But I think the bell peppers are giving me some stomach issues, and so like, as in like it just passes through me without I don't seem to be digesting the bell peppers very well. So I just but these days I've been grinding them. I've been grinding them in the food processor and they seem to do fine. So anyway, so the next thing I'm going to do is peel some garlic. I have a whole bunch here. I'm not going to, there are no exact measurements. It's whatever I feel like. I eat garlic every day, almost every day, and it's like 2 or 3 cloves or something. That works fine. I like a lot of like strong tasting food. So this is one peel here, and this is another one here. So I'm probably just gonna put like maybe 2 more. And then not sure how much of this I'm gonna eat today, because kind of mostly already ate today, but I'm feeling hungry. Just kind of, I guess I should just suck it up and not eat, because even if I feel like eating but I'm not hungry, and instead of me like trying to find some junk food to eat, instead I'm just actually going to cook real food, and whatever I don't finish eating, I'm going to eat tomorrow. So there it is. So there's 4 cloves of garlic in there, and then there's this thing here. It's fermented black beans. Now I've had this forever. We're talking years. I've had this for years, and I'm kind of like, with this whole lockdown thing and pandemic thing, I've had the task of like just trying to eat up whatever is in my pantry. So I have this whole bag of fermented black beans. They last forever because it's fermented, so it's not like they don't go bad. Probably maybe they will lose their taste. So I guess if you're not familiar with it, like if you make mapo tofu and you want to get the black bean sauce, and you want to make the black bean sauce from scratch, you generally would have to get these fermented black beans and then mash this up with some ginger and garlic and chilies to make the black bean sauce from mapo tofu. And I think it's also the same black beans that is used for like the Korean recipe of jjajangmyeon. But generally people don't work with these black beans directly. They get the sauce. They buy the black bean sauce, and they work from that. But I have the black beans directly, so and I got this from Ranch 99 just to see what it looks like. Yeah, it looks like black beans. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons. And then I have one shiitake mushroom. And this mushroom stew is another one that I don't know. I don't know. I'm getting some kind of stomach upset from vegetables. It's kind of mysterious for me. I'm gonna cut this up here. So I find that cutting them up, pretty much pulverizing them makes things feel better. Makes me feel better, stomach wise. So I just cut them up. So that's it. My kitchen's a mess, and it's not clear how I can make this feel better. Part of it is because I have too much crap. You know, I've been buying a lot of crap. Like for example, I got this keto creamer. I don't know where I got this. I used to have a habit of going to Marshall's and just roaming their kitchen aisle to see what they have, because they have a whole bunch of like nearly expired gourmet food for cheap. So this is where I got this keto creamer. Marshalls. But then when I looked at the macros, I didn't like it. Because the macros are like, I thought it would be fat macros, but it's actually kind of bad, because it's like you have like in 1 tablespoon you have 2 grams of fat, which is good, but you have 4 grams of carbohydrates, and with that 4 grams, this is in a tablespoon, 2 grams is sugar, and then you realize that, oh, it's kind of like, so 1 tablespoon contains 4 grams of carbs, and it's just straight up carbs. You know, it's not like it's fiber or any fake carbs. Because there is the organic coconut sugar in it. That's why there's all this carbs in it. Coconut sugar, it's sugar. It's still sugar, so that's why it's just straight up carbs. So this is one of the reasons I've sort of like not actually opened it up, because it's like I don't really care for the macros, but it's what it is. I'll probably just suck it up and use it at some point. And also another thing is that I don't know why I bought this, because I don't even drink coffee. That's another thing. I don't even drink coffee. But I don't drink coffee. I guess I was hoping for I was excited about the creamer part. But it's really but anyway. I'll just keep this up there. So now I just have to let me grind this up. Okay. So there you go. I have this marsh. It smells like. This didn't grind. There's one piece of thing that didn't really grind very well, but it's a marsh, all right. It's a garlicky chili marsh that I like to use. So anyway, so let me clear. Let me clear my. So, to get a sense of what my space looks like, so over here should actually be my working space, but it's, as you can see, it's filled with crap. That I haven't the slightest idea how I'm going to clean it up. And then over here is the kitchen, is the sink. And here is a sink, and here is one. So this is my main cutting area, so I'll just deal with that over there. So now I have this old ass cauliflower. I think I've had this for like a month now. And let's just talk about like vegetables and how long they keep. And like I say, it's wilted, but it's still edible, so I don't care. I'm not gonna go sick. I'm not gonna go sick from this, so it's fine. But this is a cauliflower that is like a month old now, so I'm gonna cut like half of that. Well, at least the brown parts. And this is all going into soup, so I'm not that concerned about it. It doesn't need to be pretty. Okay. And that's the cauliflower. So now I have to figure out which of these pots I want to use. I've been using this saucepan for like most of my soups, but saucepan is becoming I think it's coming a little small. But the next pot over is like too big. So this has been my main soup pot. But it's for all the things I do with it, it's kind of small. So I'm going to use a bigger pot this time. If I can find it. Okay. Much bigger. So, yeah, I'm going to now use this pot to make some soup. So, I'm going to, okay, I am going to just prep some ingredients. So this is liver. Let me tell you a little story about this liver. So, I just started eating liver as of a couple months ago. And the one thing I noticed is that the source of the liver really matters. I remember buying liver from some place, and I had it and I didn't like it. It tasted bitter, it had that really bad liver taste, and that was sort of like the usual taste I associated with liver. And then a couple of weeks later, I tried the liver from Whole Foods, and it tasted so much better. And apparently it was from like a grass-fed cow. At least that was what they told me. So from then I was always buying liver from Whole Foods. And then the pandemic happened, and I really couldn't go back to Whole Foods. And then there was a little corner store by me, and it's a halal store. It's a halal store. So they sold like lamb and goat and stuff. And I tried them. So they had lamb liver, and that was really good. It was really red and really grassy, gamey taste. So that liver was good. I liked it. But then afterwards, I decided to go back to Whole Foods and try the liver again. But the liver that they got, for some reason, I think they were out. And then when they showed me the liver, the color was off. It was like brown looking. Like it was brown, not red like the liver I got from the halal store. I was like, okay, whatever. I've had Whole Foods liver before, so I'm just going to try it. I'm just going to take it as I do. And I tried, and this is this liver right now. I got like 2 pounds worth. It didn't taste very good. I was like, ugh. I don't know because it was brown looking or it was a different source. I can't tell. Or if it's because I got used to the liver from the halal store and the lamb liver, and now this is back to beef liver. So now I have a whole bunch of beef liver from Whole Foods that I don't like, that I'm kind of hesitant to throw away because I don't really like to waste food. So I'm trying to go through it. So I have liver here. And then I guess while I deal with that, I'm going to bring I have some bacon here that I just want to finish and get rid of. just finish what I have. Um, yeah, I'm becoming more sensitive to food. So this bacon I got, this is from Whole Foods. No, this is from Safeway. It was cheap. It was, but like every time I eat it, I think it gives me headaches. It's weird. Yeah, I think bacon in general gives me headaches. So it's either I have to like blanch it to get rid of like the salt that they use to preserve the bacon, or just accept I would have a headache from the bacon. And in general, I don't like uncured bacon. I think uncured bacon is a scam. Because a lot of the uncured bacon you see is like they still use celery juice, which has nitrates. So like if you're worried about nitrates, I would rather you have the nitrates in a very as in a measured, controllable source rather than like use something like celery juice to cure it. And then also the ones that are uncured, they don't like last very long because. So I generally prefer like the unsophisticated cured bacon. But yeah. I'm gonna cut this inside the pot. See how this goes. I'm a little concerned that it's a stainless steel pot, so and if it's gonna stick everywhere, but it's what it is. Just gonna have that spread out there. Okay. Bacon. There we go. Bacon. Have that cook on low for a bit, and then I'm gonna cut this liver up. I learned my lesson on this liver. If it's not deep red, it's not used in. It's especially for beef. It's not good. I'm going to go back to my halal store as soon as this stash is over. Alright, let's see. Took it a little too long. Alright, that's good enough. It's gonna start burning. And I don't want things to burn. Bye bye bacon. The last of the bacon. Now I'm going to add the mash in here. It's a lot, but it's a big bowl of soup. Just put it aside. This was some soy sauce that I had with sushi earlier. That just goes in there. So we cook this down. This is why I kind of hesitate on using this big pot, because you see how it's just, the pot's kind of too big. Smear around, you kind of need probably needs a little bit more oil, but I don't want to add more oil to it. There is oil from the bacon, so just use that. Have this cook. And then mushrooms. One last mushroom that I've been eating. So I'm going to do an experiment to see if my body is reacting and cut this mushroom, like cut this, not grind it up. These are oyster mushrooms that I've been grinding up usually with the red pepper mash, but now I don't know. We are gonna do an experiment to see if my body would tolerate this as a tolerate this if this is cut up a little bit. Alright. Another reason I don't like this pot, the handles. Now, this is how you know if whether your pot is worth your money or not. this handle here, this, you see this silver handle, it really stays cool. Like it could you could cook with this pot, and you'll be able to like hold this pot without needing a pot holder. But this handle here, it's already quite hot. I can't hold it anymore. And it's even interesting that, like, even the ones with the plastic holders, actually it's not even so much plastic as much as if it's silicone holders. This is a cheap pot that I got. I regret it. I very much regret this purchase. But these ones with the silicone holders too, they get really hot. Even though it's a silicone handle, it get really hot, and I can't handle it. So the only pot that I really can recommend are these, like, Calphalon. This Calphalon, not the one with the silicone inserts, but the one that is solid, this solid silver handles, because they stay cool. Like, seriously, this one is like, I can't hold the pot anymore. It got hot. Anyway, this is done. I'm now going to add, so there are mushrooms here, and then there's the cauliflower here. Yeah, I'm gonna cut this a little smaller. But anyway, we'll put this in here. Like, I call this infinity soup, because really, anything goes into it, and like anything. There's nothing fancy about it. There's nothing fancy in this at all. Just that stuff needs to cook though. Like, those mushrooms that I added in, they need to cook. Cauliflower doesn't matter, but the mushrooms do need to cook. I actually have another set of mushrooms that I just got today. So I've had bad luck with these mushrooms because they don't keep very well. These are like, they call them oysters, and those are trumpets. The ones that I just added in. I've not had very luck in preserving them very well. I think I have to like pretty much take them out of the bag the day I buy them and like either use them or freeze them immediately. They tend to grow stuff, you know. The last time I got these ones, they were moldy already. Within a couple days, they were moldy, which made me very unhappy. So I'm going to try like 1 or 2 of these, just so I can try them. As you can see, I'm very particular about mushrooms, about eating mushrooms, because I was reading these days. I spend a lot of time on PubMed, and like, you know, I take that random vegetable and search a clinical trial to see what they found about that vegetable or food. And they've done a couple studies about like mushrooms. Apparently, like people who have like, what is it, 100 grams of mushrooms per week have less chance of like have less chance of developing cancer, especially like breast cancer for women. So I've been very particular about like having some kind of mushroom every week. I'm overdoing it, but I've loved mushrooms, but unfortunately I think mushrooms don't like me, given some stomach issues I'm getting with them. But have to make sure that these things cook. The color doesn't look very good, but whatever. It's a soup. So let's talk random stuff I have in the fridge that needs to be eaten. This is a mystery sauce that came because I did a roast earlier. So mystery sauce roast, 2 tablespoons. And don't ask me how that's gonna taste, but it's gonna be fine. Mystery chimichurri sauce I made. Yep, goes in. It's an infinity soup. Literally, it's made of everything and anything. So there we go, infinity soup. Here we go. How it tastes with salt though. So there's a whole bunch of random crap in this, but it's not very salty. So let's talk about my salt philosophy. So I always add in a half a teaspoon of potassium. I added a half a teaspoon of potassium because for the most part my diet is pretty kind of low carb, as in like I don't count carbs from vegetables. So it's mostly like just vegetables in soup plus meat. And then I eat carbs, like I eat carbs in form of candy as a treat. So that's why I do watch the salting issues quite a bit. So I add a half a teaspoon of potassium. I find that the potassium has helped me quite a bit with issues with palpitations and my heart going crazy. So that always goes in. And then I'll add in more salt to taste as this goes on. Random oysters. They were canned oysters that came from the last of my canned oysters. They were cooked, so they're fine. It's literally an infinity soup. So I love oysters. I like them raw. I don't like them cooked so much, but I like them raw. But the hassle of getting them raw, is so much that I don't know. I guess if I have to buy them cooked, then I'll get them cooked. And I buy oysters mainly because they are the richest source of zinc you can get. So if you need to like up your zinc intake, oysters are the biggest. Oysters are the way to do it, man. After oysters is red meat. Oysters, red meat, shellfish. That's your bioavailable source of zinc. And I just mash it up because I don't like the taste the cooked oysters, especially in the can. They don't taste very good, so just mash them up. Anyway, I think I'm eating the bacon. I think the soup is done, unless I want to add more crap to it. I have like a bowl of curry paste in the fridge. I'm not sure I want to add it to it. I think I'd rather not add it to it, just to keep this taste sort of like definitely not Thai. It's fine. As long as the mushrooms are cooked, I think we're good to go. Ah, those are oyster mushrooms. I love them. They have like a squishy gelatinous texture. I really like them. For the most part, I think my soup is done. So here is how I have them. So I have a few options here. This is some random meat that I had from before. That goes in. Meat. It was meat plus mayonnaise that would go in. It was literally a soup of leftovers. That's what soup was before. In the old days, you made soup from leftovers. So that's what I literally do. Leftovers. Let's see. I'm gonna have this come up to a rolling boil. And then I'll add, I don't think there's enough liquid in here. Yeah, this is fine. So I'll bring this up to a rolling boil, and after it's rolling, I add the meat. So like, this whole issue of infinity soup came up because I decided that I didn't want to have to pan fry my meat anymore. For the most part, frying food in general is not great. It's not good. So I was like, if I was going to eat meat, I should err on like boiling it, so like a hot pot really, and then so eat meat as a hot pot, which actually worked well for me because I was like moving away from like expensive soft cuts like ribeye and New York strip and going to the cheap cuts like chuck, and those ones tend to be really tough. So what I would do is that I would take it and slice it really thinly, and once you slice it really thinly, then I'll make some kind of a soup or broth and eat it like hot pot. So that's how this whole thing started. Now this is nothing like a hot pot. The broth is nothing I like. It's nothing the same, but whatever. It works for me. Now we could use some salt. As for salt, I have a few options. We could go with fish sauce. Ha ha ha. The Red Boat fish sauce. There we go. You can also use soy sauce, but I'm running out of soy sauce, so I'm trying to avoid soy sauce. 1 tablespoon. How much salt? The thing about fish sauce though is that you kind of added it towards the end if you want to keep the flavor. I forgot to do something. I didn't add my spring onions in there. I didn't add an onion. Or whatever. It's fine. Could use more salt though. Yeah, I have some red ones. I'm gonna add a teaspoon. That's enough salt, I think. Ooh. Keeping with the theme of infinity, there is my ghetto batch of curry powder that I try to make, which I was very disappointed in because it doesn't smell like the curry powder you buy in the store. Nah, it doesn't smell like it. And none of the recipes I've tried online gets me that smell. But I have a whole bunch of curry powder that needs to be used, so there we go. Curry powder. Some turmeric. I have a whole bunch of curry powder that I want to use up because I don't like to waste shit. So for the next month of Infinity Soups, you're gonna be seeing me using a lot of curry powder. As this come up. Okay, this is boiling. Salty but good. Okay. I'm worried about that curry powder because it's really bad. It tastes really bitter. It doesn't have that fragrant smell that I get from like the store-bought curry powder. But whatever. It's what it is. I'll survive. Okay, so it's boiling. So now I can add the meats. So here is fish. It's a salmon, wild caught salmon that I try to have a serving of either salmon or sardines a day. So salmon. Put it towards the end just because I don't want it to cook too much. And then I have some pre-sliced meat. So it's just meat, that's all it is. It's just meat that I pre-sliced. So I pre-slice and then I save them in like 200-gram packets that I just take out of the fridge and defrost. And that's really it. And then the liver that I wow, doesn't look, it looks really yellow though from the turmeric and the curry powder, so that's good. And the meat is just cooked through. Sometimes I would add shrimp. Usually I would add shrimp, but I'm trying to like do an experiment. So this is already done. So actually it's pretty much done. So I add the meat last because I don't want it to overcook. And then one last thing is butter. I guess I should call this beef and butter infinity soup because, yeah, which one do I want? Do I want to use this organic salted butter or the Kerrygold? I'm gonna deal with the Kerrygold at the moment, so we're gonna use the organic salted butter. Like half a So it's half a stick of butter. So about 50 grams of butter. As you can see, I don't use freedom units. I use grams because it's so much easier to do the math in my head. So yeah, that's just butter. So there it is. Infinity soup. Done. There it is. This is done. Well, have the butter melted through. Yeah, in retrospect, I don't like this huge pot. But it's what it is. So, ideally, I'll eat 1 pot of infinity soup per day. So, in terms of calories, really modulating them. There are no calories really from like the vegetables. I don't count them. So it's really a question of like the fish, the meat, and the butter. So 50 grams of butter, that's 500 calories. A little under 500 calories. And then 200 grams of meat. So now the meat there is I think it's a round roast, like top round. So it's pretty lean. So that's around 200 grams. That's around 200 calories per 100 grams. So that's probably the lowest you can get for meat. So that's another reason why I'm adding butter, because there's really no fats in here apart from the bacon. But the bacon only really contributed about like 1 tablespoon of like fat in there. So there we go. So we have the meat, which is 200 grams. So if you say it's a lean one, which is like round, so that's around 200 calories per 100 grams. So that's 400 calories from the meat. And then there's the fish. The fish was about 100 grams. Yeah, it was 100 grams with the skin. So I'll say that's another 200 calories. And then the liver, I don't know what the liver is. I think the liver is it's 100. It's probably around 150, 200 calories from the liver. So 200 from the liver, 200 from the fish, 400 from the meat. That's 800 already, plus the butter, which is 500. So this is 1300 calories per pot. So there we go. So if this is the whole thing you ate, if this is the whole thing you ate every day, that's 1300 calories. Bam. And there's a reason I'm adding butter. There's a reason I add butter too, because butter, the fat from the butter, especially when you don't have any carbs, like if you don't have any bread or pasta, you'll be full very quickly. There's something about butter, like butter without the carbs just would make you very full. So, and it has a way of like not, because sometimes after you eat, an hour later you feel like eating even though you feel full. The butter stops that. You don't feel like eating after. You don't feel like eating an hour or two later. You don't get that urge to eat just because you just ate. So, anyway, that's the end of my broadcast. See you.